The richest man in the world came to the restaurant every day to eat a portion of fish, all because the dishes made by the head chef here were unmatched. That day, the richest man came as usual to eat, but after taking just one bite, he realized something was off with the taste. That's when he realized the owner might have changed the chef. So he immediately called the owner to ask what happened, but the owner, afraid the richest man would get angry and blame her, lied and said they hadn't replaced the chef at all. As soon as she said that, what she got in return was the richest man's boundless fury. Only then did the two women realize that they had made a huge mistake. It turned out that just earlier, they themselves had fired the head chef, and the chef was none other than the friend who had started the business with them. 10 years ago, the two sisters saw the man's talent in cooking and decided to partner with him to open a restaurant. And in order to make delicious food and keep customers coming, the man had spent the past 10 years constantly innovating and creating new dishes. This made the restaurant's business grow better and better. Customers all loved the chef's cooking. There was even a hotel owner who offered him a salary of $100,000 a month and 30% of the hotel's shares to hire him as the head chef of his hotel. Unexpectedly, the man turned down the offer. But the man had already worked as head chef at the restaurant for 10 years, and even the waiters earned more than he did. Was the man really willing to endure this kind of humiliation forever? Hearing the owner's words, the man didn't take it seriously. He didn't want to abandon his friends, so he turned and left without looking back. But what he didn't know was that as the restaurant's business grew, the two women began thinking about firing him, so they started picking on him on purpose, saying he lazed around all day in the kitchen, that he wasn't even as good as an apprentice. They believed his work ethic didn't deserve the title of head chef. As they said this, they pulled over the apprentice and announced that from now on, he would be the restaurant's new head chef, and the man would just assist with cutting vegetables. But the man refused after hearing this, but the women gave him no chance to argue. They claimed the man had always suppressed the apprentice by relying on his seniority, so from now on, he wouldn't be in charge of anything in the kitchen. But today, the richest man in the world was dining there. If he noticed something was wrong with the food, the restaurant would have to shut down. No matter how the man explained, the two women still didn't believe him. They thought he was just trying to scare them. They even said the restaurant's success today was all thanks to the apprentice. After all, half the dishes were made by the apprentice. The man only knew how to slack off. Seeing how much they looked down on him, the man finally realized that all his sleepless dedication to the restaurant over the past 10 years had ended up meaning less than what the apprentice had done. So the man resolutely chose to resign. Just as he was about to leave, he was stopped by one of the women. It turned out the apprentice had slandered him to the two women, saying that while purchasing vegetables for the restaurant, he had been pocketing profit for himself. After all, those few dishes were the ones the man never let anyone else touch. Hearing this, the man finally saw the apprentice's true nature. He never expected that after teaching the apprentice with such effort, what he got in return was slander. Seeing how upset the man was, the apprentice immediately said, "Could it be that what I said is actually true?" Just as the man tried to explain, he got a slap in the face from one of the women. They even fired him in front of everyone. The man couldn't bear it any longer and cut ties with his former friends on the spot, leaving the place where he had worked for 10 years without looking back. But the two women had no idea how serious the situation was. They kept praising the apprentice's cooking skills, unaware that everything was part of the apprentice's scheme. Only by getting rid of the man could he become the head chef and earn a high salary. As for the man who had left the restaurant, he immediately called the female hotel owner and told her directly that he was willing to join her hotel. After hanging up, he packed his things and got ready to leave. Meanwhile, the two women who knew nothing were still serving guests in the restaurant. Until a customer pointed out that the dishes tasted wrong, they still didn't sense anything was wrong. They assumed the kitchen was just too busy because of the crowd, so they gave the customer a free meal. Just then, the richest man arrived at the door. The two women were thrilled and invited him inside, and served all the restaurant's signature dishes to him. The apprentice, after getting notified, led the staff to serve the dishes to the richest man. On the way, he happened to run into the man who was about to leave. When the man saw the dish made by the apprentice, he immediately noticed the mistake in it. He stepped forward and warned the apprentice that the dish had a problem. If the richest man noticed the taste was off, he would definitely get angry. But the apprentice confidently said that now he was the one in charge here. Even the two women were on his side. He told the man to know his place and leave quickly. As soon as he said that, they heard the voices of the two women. Seeing this, the apprentice pretended to fall to the ground and shouted loudly, asking the man not to hit him. The two women rushed over upon hearing the noise, helped the apprentice up and asked what had happened. When they heard it was all caused by the man, one of the women immediately slapped him and told him to apologize to the apprentice. When the man refused, the apprentice innocently said it was his fault for stealing the man's head chef position. As he said that, he pretended to resign and go home. But the two women stopped him. The man, thinking for the good of the restaurant, tried to convince them not to serve the dish to the richest man, but the two women didn't listen at all. Ignoring the man's warning, they went ahead to serve the dish. They even told the man to get out of there quickly and not to taint the restaurant's atmosphere. The apprentice arrogantly showed off in front of the man, saying that the restaurant the man worked 10 years for and the two childhood friends would soon all be his. But unexpectedly, the man didn't care at all, because he knew very well that the apprentice's chef career would come to an end after today. After saying that, he left the place. While the two women were still thanking the apprentice for his hard work, a waiter suddenly ran over and told them the richest man was angry. The two women immediately rushed forward to check the situation. The richest man and the guests all noticed something was wrong with the taste. Everyone believed that the restaurant had changed its chef, but the women thought everyone was talking nonsense. They insisted they hadn't changed chefs at all. Seeing how dishonest the women were, the richest man was furious and flipped the table over in rage.